Hi everybody, it's Sandy here, and it's time for the full moon, supermoon actually, rose reading. And of course it's the equinox. We are into really a potent few days. Hi Dawn, hi. So yeah, equinox and a super full moon. And this is a really powerful portal that we're working our way through, intense times, and this is a full supermoon. So the supermoon is when the moon in its elliptical dance around us comes very much closer to the earth. And hi Rachel, hello. And so we see the moon much, much bigger in the sky, and obviously it has a lot more of an influence on the tides and on our emotional aspects, because it has an effect on the water, and we are so much water in the body. So this is a third on a series of supermoons. So we should be getting used to this sort of blast of energy, but each time it's got a refinement and a nudge to it that is asking us to make changes, make this path of refinement of our journey this year ever more active. So it's I know for many that those that are what I would call highly sensitive souls are certainly feeling the effect of this supermoon, and of course the equinox energies. You might be feeling frazzled in all sorts of ways, mentally, physically, emotionally. And this is a full moon in Libra, so the call may be to that sort of archetypal sense of balance, but it's really calling us into right relationship. Now, whether that's right relationship with ourselves or with our experience of others in the world, relationships at this time are going to be highly sensitized and calling us to pay attention. So this is stunning time. Many too are noticing that there's an imbalance in their impersonal electromagnetic field that is calling for a constant vigilance in coming back in to center. So we are moving. Hi Elias, hi. We are moving into this place where so the equinox comes in on this first movement of the energy, the sun, into Aries. So we're coming out of the watery, mystical aspects of Pisces and into Aries. So there's a real sense of the change in the energy as we're coming into this opening up, really into that the first aspect of this new year. This is where we start to see some momentum, particularly once Mercury starts to go direct. So this has been such. Hi Mel, hi, nice to see you. This is this real first sense of there being some momentum, but particularly once we clear this Mercury retrograde period. So Mercury will start to go direct again on the 28th, and as we start to move into April, we will be out of the retrograde shadow, and there will be much more sense of there being some traction to what we're doing and how we're moving forward. Many of you probably have realised that I have opened this new aspect of my work, this rose portal, which I felt guided to, or inspired, shall I say, to create, so that there was an area within my offering online that was much more of an interactive sharing. So the first part of that has now gone live for membership, and I'll explain a bit more about that towards the end of this reading. But it's interesting because I really felt that I needed to open up the membership for the circle at this point, although we won't actually do the first live webinar until the new moon. The new moon on the 5th of April feels really, really potent, and certainly is very aligned for me in starting something new. So there's some good things happening. But anyway, let's go back to what we're dealing with right now, because this is the place that we need to be. The place we need to get to is in this closure of the patterning of the past. And it doesn't mean that there won't be memories of the journey that we've been through, but it won't have an energy charge on it in the same way that we might have experienced it in the past. And it allows it to find its right place in the guidance or the wisdom that it's offered us in the journey to now. We're being really called to stay so present to what's going on in our hearts, in our physical bodies, the sensations that are, where there's an energy charge, whether there's something that goes off as a result to something that's happening on a global scale, or perhaps even just from a conversation or a meeting with someone. What's being triggered? Where can we dive into releasing that piece of our storyline or something, whatever the energy charge is, so that we become ever clearer vessels for transformation. So in this place of being present, we can allow the future to unfold. We don't need to define what that looks like, but hold the energy and the imprint of what our hearts are calling for as a path of presence. This for me feels to be about embodiment. It's about what are we being called to embody, and what are we being called to embody as walking masters. Anything of the journey this far has been in order to refine us and to hone us so that we are able to hold that path of inner mastery. We have the tools and the Rose Alchemy set is one of the tools that we have been gifted by the master teachers. Sorry, Rachel, I'm going to have to put my glasses on. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Rachel's saying that the explanation of this is, thank you. This place of, the tools. What tools do we have? What is what's being called for, and where are we being able to hold this presence in ourselves that is an internal mastery that allows us to with all confidence be able to step forward on our path. We all have different tools. I mean, each one of us has had a path of learning and experience. It's the experiences that we've had that have called us to, to different learnings and different teachers and different ways of transforming the storyline, transforming the script that we've had running. And this journey that we're being called to is a journey to personal sovereignty, whereby we are self-referenced, internally referenced in all of our actions. And this is a big shift in turning the path round and bringing it back in, rather than looking for external ways in which we can either have a self or somebody else will give us answers. It is our internal alignment that absolutely is essential at this point. And it's not to say that it's an alone path. We are absolutely not meant to be, walking alone through this. But we can through our authenticity and our dedication to that alignment within ourselves, we then come into right relationship. We come into right alignment with those around us, so that we can co-create this pathway forward, and to be the walking masters that we came to be inspirers, to be way showers, and to assist others on their own path of mastery. I think last time when I was doing the reading, I was talking about this threefold flame of the heart that has been this last piece for the next phase of the rose work, this threefold Christed flame of love, wisdom and power, and what the dance of energies is that we hold within those three elements. And I'm finding that absolutely fascinating to work with, because my biggest issue this lifetime has been working with my own power and having that shut down so dramatically as a child, and then managing to find myself in relationship dance through my life, which is been absolutely amazing in being able to way show me back to that internal alignment within and trust in self. This place of trust in self, and we've spoken many times of the base second chakra, and this place of self-love, self-value, self-esteem, which must be at the root, absolutely at the root, in that golden chalice that sits in the sacral. And we can tell whether we are in right alignment, because that golden chalice will either be a leaky colander or it will be a radiant vessel for our own inner alignment to rise from. So, that being said, what wisdom might the roses have for us in this particular time? And bear in mind that we are starting now to enter a journey, this 6 months journey now between the spring equinox and the autumn equinox. I think will be a really, really powerful piece for us. And there will be opportunities all of the way to clear and refine and hone the pathway that will take us into 2020. And as I say, this place of moving into Aries today, this sun moving into Aries, which is this place of the equinox, and this opportunity with the fire energy to spring clean. And today I've been out in my store here, studio store, with the lovely Claire Stretch, who has come and with her Attic Angel hat on to do some organisation and clearing with me, because when I moved in here 6 months ago, everything that sort of arrived just got placed in the store, and it's now the time to sort, refine, release. There's a lot of the books that didn't come in on the shelves here that are going to be released. And this path of travelling lighter and travelling as light is our pathway forward, whether that's through our emotional realm, or our mental chatter, or actually in our physical space, clearing and lightening the load. Do I really love this? Do I, we shouldn't be keeping things that are either not beautiful or useful. And perhaps this place of releasing the past, letting go of the past, letting it be, coming into graceful resolution with it, is the piece that releases us and allows us to move forward with even more grace and ease. Hi Anne, hi Gail. Thank you for joining. Thank you. So, are you drawn to Rose card 1, to Rose card 2, or to Rose card 3? So just see where the light is. Again, this internal compass, this inner tutor, is has to be our place of reference going forward. How do I feel about that? How, what's my body saying? What's my heart saying? So, if you were drawn to Rose card 1, she is Rose Bagua 3. Now this rose is a tiny, tiny rose. She's no more than about an inch. That's 2.5 centimetres. She is very, very scented. Hi, Linda. Hi. Who can't see? Susanna. Hi. So this, she's tiny, tiny rose, and very violet scented. This is very sweet scented rose, and each one of these tiny, tiny petals is heart-shaped. And she calls herself, it's not the name of the rose, I don't know the name of this rose, but she calls herself the many-petaled heart. Anyway, this rose sits in the place of Rose Bagua 3, and this is the teachers, the wisdom keepers, those that come as way showers and guides on our journey. So if you were drawn to Rose card 1, you want to be listening deep within for the inner tutor, the inner messages, the inner guidance for your expression in the world. What is being whispered to you? What is the message that you need to be receiving at this time? I find it fascinating. As many of you know, the rose path for me has been guided all the way along by a group on the higher planes called the Sisterhood of the Rose. And many of the feminine masters that we have perhaps had contact with on our paths, the Lady Isis, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, and in particular for me, Lady Nada, who is the higher aspect, the overlighting soul of Mary Magdalene, i.e. Mary Magdalene was an aspect of her that incarnated. Lady Nada has been the guide all the way through this work, as have the Sisterhood and the Brotherhood of the Rose, the Master Yeshua, and an energy of Master Merlin. And it's been a real honour to have that kind of connection and wisdom teaching from these masters. But what I've come to understand is that when we access the fifth dimensional field of frequency of our hearts, there is an opening to higher frequency aspects of ourselves that we have from previous lifetimes. And often these master teachers have got connections into these higher aspects of ourselves. So in a lot of ways, the information that we may have, or the inner wisdom that we may have, is actually our higher soul self, our higher oversoul lighting self, that is able to make connection through this fifth dimensional field of frequency that the heart is opening up to. So when we have the opportunity to connect with our intuition and our inner wisdom, often it is higher aspects of our higher soul self that are starting to make their selves consciously known to us, and brings us forward into a place where we start to really trust that inner wisdom. So she is a beautiful, beautiful ally if you were drawn to her today, to pay absolute attention to your dreamscape, to the sense of wisdom that can be gifted you through meditation and through being in nature. Hi, Renee. So beautiful, beautiful work that you can have with her, beautiful connection. And she is a lovely, lovely rose to use as energy charged water, getting your glass of spring water and being able to sit that onto the frequency of this particular rose. If you were drawn to Rose card 2, she is Rose Angel 2. Now this Rose Angel sits on the crown, and she is the angel that brings us the wisdom of surrender. She is the one that says, surrender into the flow. Just allow yourself to be aligned with your higher wisdom. Allow yourself to be a receptacle for that higher wisdom, and allow yourself to bring that energy right the way down through the body. We've spoken before about the soul star above the head and the earth star down below the body. And so when you bring this energy down through this rose, you can see she's quite angelic in her form. She's like this sort of overlighting hug. So she is an absolute stunning rose, and this pink gold that she holds in the center, this for me is the frequency of the heart field. The pink gold is this higher frequency alignment that brings us into the almost peach tone, which for me is the higher frequency of the Divine Mother. So this rose, she almost holds herself as a blessing that allows for the downflowing of the divine frequencies, that allows us to again deepen our sense of trust, just deepen our sense of flow, and allow the divine to flood her energy through us, I'm wanting to say. When we come into this alignment, and this is what so much of the rose work is about being able to be an acupuncture point of light, to bring heaven on earth, just to be able to bring this energy in, these higher frequencies and codes of light, down through our bodies. This is why we need to do the work. This is why we need the purification. This is why we need the high frequency foods, to bring these higher codes of light down through the body and anchor them down into the Earth Star. And the Earth Star connects in to the consciousness grid, the crystalline consciousness grid of Gaia. Hi, Serena. Hello. She's just a beautiful rose to connect with. Absolutely wonderful. And if you were drawn to Rose card 3, she is Master Rose 3. Now, I think this is wonderful that this has come through for the equinox and for this full supermoon in Libra. The Master Roses, Master Rose 1 is the Divine Masculine, Master Rose 2 is the Divine Feminine, and Master Rose 3 brings us into this unified field, brings us into, if you can imagine, you've got the two energy, or you've got the unified field that moves into duality. And what you've got in between the two is the vesica, this geometry called the vesica piscis. And it's like an almond shape, but it is what in Christ consciousness terms would be called the divine child. This place of the divine child is the sacred dance of the masculine feminine, and when it's brought into this unified field, a flame lights in the heart. And this is a Christ consciousness flame that brings us into total alignment with source energy, with source codes of light and the grand central sun. So it's really interesting too that this full moon at 0 degrees of Libra is on the supergalactic center. So you can start to see the energy charge of these codes of light and what they're inspiring us to. This place of inner mastery. You know, this is what she's calling us to. And I'm going to read you her words that were given me as the book was written. You'll see in the book that goes with this oracle deck. And she calls herself the Golden Flame. And she says, I am the wisdom keeper. All is known in the now. In my beauty, the tears and the joys of mankind. I am the sacred fire and the golden flame. So again, you know, we've come into this place of Aries. We've come into this place of the fire temple. You know, this place of and fire is the alchemical element of transformation. Oh wow. And Rachel said, you know, there's another realization that's come from that too. Hi Caroline. Gosh, there's lots of activity tonight. Yeah, and golden flames with your sorry, I'm going to put glasses on because I can't read it. I need a bigger phone. Golden flame of your dragon who came to you yesterday, Serena. This is beautiful, beautiful synchronicity. I mean, she is just gorgeous, this rose. And this work of lighting the authentic codes of light that we hold within us, lighting this authentic flame of the heart. You know, when we know we're in an alignment, we say, you know, I was lit up. You know, we know when someone has that flame of the heart alight. So here we are. Here's our 3 roses. Rose Bagua 3. This place of coming into the alignment within of inner mastery and our connection through the 5D heart field with our higher codes of light that are connected into our higher soul self alignment. So when we're looking at that, at our teachers and guides, yes, we can have amazing teachers and guides here on the 3D realm in our physicality, but we also have incredible intuitive guidance that's available to us when we trust in spirit, trust in our higher soul self-guidance. And here she is, this Rose Angel 2, this angel of dispensation. It's like she is you know, the guidance to be in flow with codes of source codes of light. These are beautiful, beautiful energies. And then Master Rose 3, this place of the unified field, the inner dance of masculine, feminine. When we're in an external relationship with a beloved, this energy can often sit in the dynamic of the dance of the codes of the two joined together. So if you can imagine, you know, and one individual and the other individual. It's what is created. It's where the whole becomes bigger than the sum of the parts. Yeah, it's like this inner piece that weaves the energies of the two is this magical portal. Often you will see on the great cathedrals like Chartres, for instance, that vesica, that sort of mandorle, that vesica of geometry, you will often see the Christ figure sat within it. And it is to do with this birthing of this knowledge of this light that comes within. Okay, so if you have the rose cards, do use these. These will be really powerfully active for us over this full moon. And as I say, you can put a glass of water on these and actually drink the rose-charged water. But also, you can pop these under your pillow. You can pop them by your computer. And they will help to percolate through. They work on the body at a cellular level. I've said many times, I had no intention of doing rose readings with these. These are tools for self-mastery. They are tools for alignment to higher codes of light, and they are tools for opening up the heart field. They are just pure love. And they have come to work with us to release anything that is not that. Very simply, really. Okay, what else have I got to share? Yes, the Rose Circle Online is now live for sign up. If you go to my Rose Alchemy site and you go to the Rose Circle Online page, there's a click through there that takes you through to the portal. And you'll see there that there's the Rose Circle Online that you can sign up for to be a member of the circle. And I'm going to be doing a live interactive webinar every month. We're going to work our way right through the 52 cards of the Rose Oracle, one a week for the next year. And so there'll be meditations, there'll be a video, there'll be interactive secret Facebook group forum, and there'll be the opportunity to share what you do once a month. It's not a sales forum. It is about all of us rising and being able to share the different pieces that we have of the mastery that takes us to a greater place. And what else is there? Oh, there's lots of goodies that we're going to share around the path of the sacred feminine and the way of the rose, the sacred ancient wisdom that came through the sisterhood of the rose. What else is there? And I'm going to be doing some interviews, some short interviews with other sisters in the circle, to share what they do, what their expression is, so that it can be a rich interface and we can make new connections and new soul alignment, soul recognition, soul connections with others that resonate in that frequency. I've also got a really nice Working with Your Inner Goddess Day, a week on Saturday, here in the Rosie Temple. So, yes, the Mastery Bowl wanted to come play. Oh, I've got a whole new series of the Rose classes starting too. The dates in person are on the website. The dates for the online classes will be coming once we're through Mercury retrograde, because it's been a bit crazy. So, the Mastery Bowl with the rose codes that we're working with, and actually the second bowl wanted to come and play as well. The bowl that is the smoky quartz and charcoal bowl, and this is the violet aura gold bowl. So just allow the sounds to come to you. They're holding the codes of light that were in these 3 roses that came forward for the reading. Thank you for joining me. I wish you a wonderful equinox celebration, and also, of course, for this full supermoon tomorrow. These are just portals of opportunity for us, and yeah, may you be blessed by the energies. Thank you. With love and rosy blessings. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.